another video. Thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Again, videos have been doing pretty well lately, so thank you all for watching and engaging with my content. So, this video is all about how I believe that Taiwan should develop a nuclear weapons program. Now, this might be a controversial opinion. However, I'll lay out the reasons why I think Taiwan definitely should develop a nuclear deterrent of their own. Because if one country has nuclear weapons, then there's less inclination for another country to invade. So if we look at Google Maps, we have China right here, Taiwan right here. So for China to invade Taiwan, we have on the east side of Taiwan, mountains. East side is mountainous, west side is highly urbanized. So this invasion is already complicated for China because you have urban warfare on the west side and a ton of mountains on the east side. It's not ideal. But if China decides to invade Taiwan Strait, it's roughly about 110 miles wide-ish. So about 100 or so miles, depending on, your measurements. But China would have to cross that strait to ultimately get to Taiwan. We got a couple of outlying islands as well. However, that's logistically complicated, especially a cross-strait invasion. Taiwan has done a really good job with. We'll switch to satellite mode here to kind of really fortify this western side. As I said, this side's more urban, which is not. If you're fighting in urban warfare, that's not a great idea. And then fighting in a mountainous area is not that suitable for combat as well. So mountainous west, mountainous east, urbanized west. So already this is difficult for China. Switch back to this view. So how do you prevent a Chinese invasion? Well, the Taiwanese have been, buying American weapons for a long time, preparing for a lot of years, a lot of decades at this point. So let's skip over to the Wikipedia page for Taiwan and weapons of mass destruction. So Taiwan has already pursued a number of these programs from the late 40s to the late 1980s. They had a secret weapons program, but it was shut down in the 80s because the U.S. was pressuring them to not do it. During the Cold War, the U.S. deployed nuclear weapons on Taiwan as part of deterrence. However, President Nixon ordered nuclear weapons to be removed in the 70s, and then they were stored at this Air Force base. The Taiwanese had wanted nuclear weapons because China had their first test in the 1960s. But the United States, hoping to avoid escalation, has opposed arming Taiwan with nuclear weapons. So, if you want to read a little bit more about it, I recommend going into it. But think about it. You have much of China's population along the east coast here. 6% of their population lives to the west. Most of it's to the east, but all of their population is right in here. A nuclear weapon from Taiwan to, let's measure distance to Hong Kong area. It's about 400 miles. To Shanghai, it's about roughly 500. From Taiwan to the Beijing area is about 1,100 or so ish. I personally think Taiwan should develop nuclear weapons as a deterrence to China. If China invades, then Taiwan has conventional defenses, but if you want to really truly deter China from invading, then a strong nuclear deterrence, in my opinion, is a very good idea. Obviously, in the world, you want less nuclear weapons, and I understand that argument, but personally, I think Taiwan should develop nuclear weapons, whether that's airdropped, nuclear bombs, or put them on some missiles. Whatever they decide, I personally believe that Taiwan should develop nuclear weapons as a deterrence and a counterbalance to Chinese aggression. That's what I believe. I think technically I think South Korea should develop a nuclear weapons program to counterbalance North Korea, but that's a whole separate video that I will definitely make. But I definitely think Taiwan should develop a nuclear deterrence to thwart a Chinese invasion. So, with that, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.